Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is week 11. Can you believe it? So here we are in here. Next week will be our writer's workshop. Watch for that module to pop up in a couple of days. We're going to be sharing drafts together in our workshop as we did before, where you post a working draft of your essay to the writer's workshop discussion. That is next week. This week, we are going to start by looking at how others have approached this assignment in the past. If you're interested, you may look in the Hall of Fame for more models. But this week, we're going to be reading two particular essays written by former students. One is an immersion journalism piece about hot yoga. It's colorful and interesting and research supported. This one is What Do You Expect? It's Walmart. It's a profile of place expanded by research, but it also relates in some ways to the weird world of work option in your list of options in your prompt. So take a look at both of these. You're going to be evaluating them for how successfully they approach the assignment of literary journalism. They're both strong essays, but they might have issues, they might not. So you will discuss what you think works well, what might be inspirational for your own purposes, and maybe if you could give advice to those students, what would you say? There's a little chunk here about citation. Now, I know you've been through citation 1,000 times, and this might feel like a junior lesson to you. But the issue here is I've had students in the past who have, because we're in a creative writing such situation, more creative than in, say, an English 1110 or 1120 class, and because we can take some liberties with citation, some people forgot to include citation, which is to say, where did the information come from, in a way that was useful, and that is problematic. So even the scholarly or the journalism pieces you've been reading include citation in some format. And what you'll notice is that almost all of them use what we call attribution, which is the same thing as a signal phrase. Attribution is Bob Bobson, author of Cat Juggling for Fun and Profit, says this about that. That attributes the material to its source. You'll notice that in any of the pieces you've read, there have been those kinds of attributions, even if they didn't use in-text citation like you've seen in essays before, where you have the parentheses and the author's name and the page number and the close parentheses and the period. We don't have to be that formal, but we still have to cover our fannies. So you have options in addition to using signal phrases or attribution phrases. You may choose to use hyperlinks if you like. Now, you might have noticed that in the piece, I think it's from the Guardian or the Atlantic, I can't remember, about chemtrails, that the author uses loads of those hyperlinks that'll take you to actual source material. In a couple of other readings that I've assigned, you'll notice that sort of thing going on. You click on the link and you see the actual source. So you can do that, and that's a groovy thing to do. And I've included some how-tos regarding how to go about that. And that can be a nice way to include your sources in the text of your essay. But you will also include a works cited page using an MLA style. You've done this before. It's not rocket science in terms of difficulty. I know it's a pain in the tuchus, but it's not anything you haven't done before. Please include all of the citations, all of the sources you consult, including personal interviews. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So all of that is just to say that as a journalist, as a writer, as someone who informs others, you always have to say where the information comes from. I know you know that, but sometimes we forget. There's a video here about citation. Here's how to conduct a personal interview. Here's a little junior interview between me and a student answering some questions, and it includes how to cite a personal interview using MLA style for your works cited page. Just take a look at that. Your journal this week is going to be you generating questions for interviews. If you haven't already done so, you need at least one interview for source material. If you have conducted an interview, show us how you might use a zippy quote or a paraphrase from that source and how you might integrate it into your own writing. Make it clear who is speaking and that this is someone you have interviewed. And that actually adds a lot of color and personal human interest to your story. Your blog is, as I let you know, is to review these 2 essays and answer some questions. Think about what's going well, what is challenging, what can you take from these sample essays that might help inform you as you write a draft of your essay. You are going to be sharing your work, as I say, next week in our peer review workshops. I will offer some conference times next week if you so desire to meet with me. I will do my best to help you out. If you would like to meet with me this week, please come to office hours or send me a message and let me know times that might work for you. I already have at least one person who wants to meet with me. Yay! And so I'm excited about that. I love working one-on-one. So, hey, sign up. Just so you know, Leonardo, our literary magazine, will be accepting or has already started accepting work for publication. This is an old copy of their Leonardo magazine, but you can check out other Leonardo versions here. And if you're interested in submitting your work, you may send it to this link. And if you do so, let me know. Show me that you've done so, and I will give you some points. I just want you to think about yourself as writers outside the context of this class. You can have some, some work out there. Looking ahead, we will be working on our journalism essays next week. Something else to note is I've only slightly tweaked the schedule. It's nothing radical, but I do want to let you know that the readings are slightly different. The schedule of events is the same, but it's all here broken down for you. If there are any other tweaks, I'll let you know. As I said, they're not radically different. Things are not off the rails by any stretch. It's just slight tweaks. So if you're somebody who likes to know what's coming, there you go. Alrighty, so that's what I have for you this week. If you'd love to talk, I'd love to talk to you. So send me a message, let me know what works for you, and I'm happy to help. Thanks.